Hello, welcome to the Nonprofit Plug. I am so excited to start this broadcast that I'm going to be doing every Tuesday at 12:12 p.m. Pacific time. The Nonprofit Plug is for nonprofit founders, future nonprofit leaders, anyone who is interested in starting an organization, anyone who has an organization and you're still in the initial stages. This is who that is for. And everyone in between, whether it's corporations that hope to partner with nonprofits, whether it is leaders, community leaders who are looking to connect with nonprofits, this is the place to be. So, I recently transitioned from working in the nonprofit sector, or at least being employed in the nonprofit sector, to being a nonprofit consultant. And let me tell you, that transition has been interesting. I have to create my own time. I have to prioritize different things. And so I'm getting to that. I am also the founder of the nonprofit organization Dare Humanity. We were founded in 2015, and we are currently doing work in Haiti, serving 3,000 plus community members among 2 communities. We provide resources. We provide sponsorships for education for students. We are creating programs to create self-sustainability. We are creating programs in order to make them self-sufficient. So at the end of the day, years from now, they can say, Dare Humanity, help us. Now we are self-sustainable, to be able to do this on our own and apply what we learned and train other people to do what we learned. So that is currently what we do. You can learn more about Dare Humanity at darehumanity.org. Connect with us, reach out. So today's topic is starting a nonprofit for me. I often meet people who either believe they want to start a nonprofit, have been thinking about it, about the process. And so that's what I'm going to start off this broadcast with. Today we're going to be talking about is starting a nonprofit for me, and then we're just going to keep on transitioning week by week. We're going to talk about different topics, all of them being connected, but all of them allowing me to be honest and transparent about my experience in the nonprofit sector, tell you things that I've learned while working in the sector, while being a founder, that people don't generally express to you. I've often gone to different trainings, different conferences, events pertaining to nonprofits, pertaining to social media, pertaining to different things. And it's always been this tutorial basis. It's always been, well, this is how you do it, and here are the resources, but it wasn't exactly information that I can apply directly. I mean, in some cases it was, but in other cases I was left with the feeling, well, I missed. And a lot of the information that they shared, it was based on research and data they had from large organizations. And so when they provided resources and things for large organizations, I thought to myself, well, that's great that I work for them, but it doesn't necessarily apply to my organization because we're still in the startup phase. As I mentioned before, we have been in existence for 5 years. We've been doing work in Haiti since 2015. And so often I went to these different seminars, different workshops, different events, realizing that, okay, that's great information, but this does not apply to my organization because I am a startup nonprofit. So before you put together the legality of starting a nonprofit, before you finalize your decision, I want to walk you through a few questions, walk you through some information that I want to share. The reality of running a nonprofit, running around a nonprofit or an organization, a business, anything, it is not just a title, it's a responsibility. It's more than what's online. It's more than being requested to go to different events. It's more than the position. It's more than that. And so I want to express the gravity of it. So the responsibility is not only to the organization. You are the organization, the responsibility is also to the people on your team. The people on your team includes the board of directors. It includes the advisory board if you have an advisory board. It includes the committees that you have. It includes the people you work with, whether it's the liaisons like we have. We have a Haiti liaison. It includes the people that you are working with on a daily basis. If you have interns, it includes them. If you have different staff, it includes them. Responsibility is also to your constituents. The constituents include your stakeholders, which includes your board of directors, your advisory board. It includes the people you serve, which is really important, and it also includes people in the community partners as well. Then you also have a responsibility to the state and the government. Responsibility to maintain your exempt status, which includes filing on an annual basis, but you also have the responsibility to organization that is doing what it says it's going to do, an organization that is honest and transparent about what they're doing, and who is able to handle all aspects of the organization well. So when it comes to the organization, you are the face of the organization, so you need to represent it well, and you're responsible for what's on behind the scenes. That is the reality, and we're going to go through that in a second. You have the responsibility to the board of directors, and you're responsible for governing and setting the rules and setting the direction of the organization. You're also going to be responsible for following up with them, for sharing meeting notes, for sharing the agenda, for updating them on information that's important, for sharing information so that you can get your from them. You have a responsibility to your team. We were expressing that your team includes interns, it includes your advisory board, includes your staff, it includes people who are volunteering, people that are working with you directly, and so you have a responsibility to do the same thing with them. You have to follow up with them, you have to create systems for them, you have to update them, you have to share information that is important for them to know, and this is on an ongoing basis. Also have the responsibility to be honest and transparent with them about different situations, especially your advisory board and your board of directors. You're going to be as honest with them as possible so they really understand what you're doing for the organization, what your organization is doing. For our organization, we do work in Haiti, and we started work in 2018, and so through my honesty and transparency, I've been able to talk to my advisor and my board of directors about how to pivot in order to meet the needs of the people, how to work around different challenges that occur, cultural challenges, physical challenges at times, and challenges that need assistance. You are not the only person who can resolve and maintain your organization. You're going to need the people around you who are going to help you in that process. Most importantly, you're going to need people who have expertise in areas that you don't have expertise and skills in, so you can fill in the gaps. We are not created to know everything, and you don't want to be a know-it-all when it comes to organization. You want to be honest and say, I need help. I need help in this situation, and I know you have your expertise in this area, so how about you assist me with this area? I really need your advice on this. I really need your feedback on this situation. You also have a responsibility to your constituents. We talked about it being your stakeholder, your donors, your supporters, people who follow you, who may not be donors yet, but those are your supporters. You have the followers, the people that are connected to you on social media. Whatever platforms you're using, your followers are there. Some organizations use only one platform, some use all. So you have to determine what is the most efficient way to communicate with the people that support us. And you don't have to be a person or organization that does everything that everyone else does. Tailor your organization to what you are doing, what kind of people you're serving, and you tailor it towards your capacity. So then you also have a responsibility to the state and government. You have obligations to file on an annual basis. At some point, we're going to talk about that for the state of California. And then you have the obligation to make the right decisions every day. You are the leader of the organization, and are your board of directors, and so you have the obligation to make the right decisions. You have the obligation to make sure that you do things that are in the best interest of the people that you're serving, the best interest of the people that you're partnering with, and the best interest of the organization as a whole. And then finally, you have an obligation to the people you serve. You have a responsibility to the people you serve. You have to make sure, once again, to make the right decisions on their behalf. You have to make sure to be honest and transparent. You see a theme going on here. You have to be honest and transparent with all the people if you're serving them. And you have to remain in a stance that I am serving these people versus we are helping these people and we know all the answers and the solutions. If I would have done that when we started work in Haiti, we would most likely not be doing things how we are today, because we cannot go in with a pretentious idea that everything that you've applied to your life so far is going to apply to the people you're working with. That's not always the case, especially in different cultures you're working with. And also, I want to highlight a key point in the people that you serve is that you have to remain loyal to them. I remember when I was, the last time I was in Haiti, which was February of 2019. This is right when the political turmoil happened. And everyone was protesting and wanting the president out because of a lot of accusations and him not doing what he said he was going to do. And we were in contact with someone that we were staying with, and this individual said, well, I feel that you're not serving the right people. I feel that your service could be better benefit different people. And I said, I am not going to abandon the people I'm working with. I'm going to come to the country and continue to serve them. And that is what your attitude needs to be when it comes to the people you serve. It's a responsibility. It is a duty of yours. You need to remain loyal to the people you serve. If you find yourself asking yourself, I'm not sure I want to dedicate all my time to this. I'm not sure I have the capacity to dedicate my time to this. I'm not sure I have the right people who I can add to my team in order for me to help this in the. You need to relook the situation and say, is starting a non-profit organization for me? Because you have to be about it. Some organizations are fine with staying at the starter phase. They're fine with staying at a certain cap when it comes to the income they have. Maybe they're not intending to scale. Maybe they're not intending, they're just intending to do small projects. But if you really want your organization to grow and be sufficient and be effective, then you need to realize that to take time, it's going to take commitment, it's going to take you creating systems, it's going to take your discipline in order for you to have that into fruition. If you feel that joining another organization who is doing work that you appreciate, that you want to help, then do that. But if the work that you're doing is unique, the work that you're doing is needed, the work that you're doing is going to add to the sector, then I recommend that you do start a nonprofit. Don't let the statistics and the things you heard about the nonprofits and the nonprofit sector deter you away from starting an organization, especially when you are doing work that is important for the population you're going to be serving. For the communities that we serve in Haiti, if we would have never connected with them, they would most likely not have been able to receive any type of services because the capacity of nonprofits in Haiti is limited. Some of the organizations that only work in certain areas of the country, which means that not all areas of the country are reached like they would be in the United States, where we have different systems in place in order to make sure that every community, every city is connected with nonprofits in order to assist them. It's a different case in Haiti, especially because a lot of the communities are in a rural area. And so because of them being in a rural area, because of it being difficult to reach them, they are not exposed to the services like other other communities would be exposed to, maybe the ones that we see in the US, or communities that are based in major city capital. Okay, so I was saying before, it's beyond the name of the organization, it's beyond your online presence. Having a title thing compared to the responsibility that goes behind it. If you're looking for a title, go ahead and get a title, but don't attach the work of an organization to it, because if you're looking for a title, that means your mindset is not in place in order for you to run an organization, because you're making it about you. Once you step into being a nonprofit, you have to realize that it's not about you anymore, it's about them. So that means everything, every decision you make, every aspect of the organization is going to fall back on them, and it's going to fall back in your organization. So if you're going into this with the mindset that you're looking to get different benefits from being a founder, or whatever the case is, then I encourage you to re-examine that. So you will be responsible for what goes on behind the scenes. Often I wear different hats throughout the week. I am a fundraiser, I am a communications manager, I am a governance, I am the board chair, I am the marketing person, I am the person that puts everything together behind the scenes. So it's important to know that you're going to be responsible for every single thing that goes on behind the scenes. And often as a founder, it may just be you. You may have your board and your board of directors, and they may be there, but sometimes your board is going to be inactive. That everything falls on you, and the success of your organization is going to fall on you. And that's why I want to highlight that it's important to select the right people to be on your board, because you're not looking for people who are just going to fill positions and titles. You're looking for people who are actually going to be able to help you with the work. Running an organization is not a one-person thing. If you're not open about collaborating and joining people and putting people on your team who can help you, then you're going to be in a state infancy for the duration of your organization, and you don't want that. It's not about what all that you can do, and you also have to consider your capacity. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of behind the scenes, it's a lot of going to a 9 to 5 and then coming back home and realizing, okay, I need to switch gears and I need to make this about my organization. You will have to be responsible for the behind the scenes work, such as putting together the structure of your organization, operation, management, administration, finances, annual reporting, marketing, communications, fundraising, all the challenges that are going to occur. It's not going to be an easy road. There's going to be challenges that come from the people you serve. It's going to be challenges with your new team. It's going to be challenges to different things. When you're a nonprofit startup, sometimes the challenges can be with fundraising. And often all these things are going to fall on you. Like I said, you're going to be wearing different hats all the time. I want to remind you and kind of reiterate the statement I said about making sure the right people are in place. So here are a few questions you can ask yourself when it comes to starting a nonprofit. Is starting a nonprofit for me? So who can assist me with my mission? You as a founder, you're going to be for the mission. You have the vision. Now you need to ask yourself, who is going to help me with this vision, and who is going to actually put in the time commitment to do it and actually be hands-on with it. Like I said, again, there's one thing to have a position and say, oh, I am on the board of so-and-so. Oh, I am the founder of so-and-so. But it's not about that. You have to realize that you're going to need the help. It's realize that you have to be open about getting the help as well. Next question, will they be committed and hands-on? Will they support the organization with their time, donations, and advisement? Some people will join an organization as the board. Some will be volunteers. Some will be interns. Whatever the case is, they need to make that time commitment, and they need to be able to support you in some way. Sometimes it looks, and yes, our organization personally has a recommendation board members provide some type of contribution. Why? Because it takes money to run an organization, and it takes money to do the things you're doing. It takes money to serve the people that you are serving. So for them not to make some type of financial commitment, and we leave it up to them to make that idea, to make that decision about it. But without that financial contribution, often the funding can be just coming from you. In the initial stages of my organization, the funding came from me, and then I started to ask certain people, and they would give here and there. So I was using all my funds in the beginning stages, and so you're going to have to budget and put them aside the funds. And that's another question you can ask yourself: am I going to be willing to sacrifice this certain amount of money each month to be able to budget out this money in order to establish certain things for my organization? Am I going to put money into starting? So am I going to be able to set aside this money so that I can file with the state of California and the IRS to gain our tax exempt status? All those things cost money. And so if the funding is not coming from you, then ask your board members for it to come from them. If you have an advisory board, so that the money is not just coming from you, the weight is not all on your shoulders. It's actually part of the team as a whole. It's not just about what you can do for the organization as a founder. It's also about what the people who are on your team can do as well. And that's the point of you bringing them onto your team. You also want to ask, when you bring someone on your team, you want to ask an honest question: are they a good fit for the team? Like I said, a lot of people will get elated idea of being on a board because they say, oh, well, this is going to help me with my resume. They see it as like a resume builder versus an actual responsibility. So you have to ask yourself, is this person a good fit? Are they going to work well with the team that we already have? Are they going to actually put in the time commitment? Are they the type of person that gets back to me when I need them to get back to me? Able to provide advisement when I need it? Is it going to be sound advisement, or are they just going to give me advisement just to respond? So you have to think about these things when it comes to your board. You want to make sure you have the right people on your team. You want to make sure that they are going to be committed. And then eventually when you hire staff, we haven't gotten to the point yet, but I'm believing that we will. But when you do that, you're going to want to do the same thing for your staff. You're going to want to say, these are the experiences of this person. How is this person going to work with me as a founder? How is this person going to work with the fundraising director? How is this person going to work with the board? So you have to consider these things. So we talked about examining and being honest about your capacity as a founder. We talked about your vision. So another question: you want this to go? You've got the vision, and our vision was to create self-sufficiency and opportunity for community development in underserved communities. And I'm talking about Dare Humanity. And so there's the vision. So now, where do I see this going? Beyond Haiti, I see it going beyond California. I see us establishing different programs around the world. Different for everyone. Everyone is not going to be international. Everyone is not going to have the same focus as you. Everyone is not going to have the same capacity as you. And some organizations may remain small and some may decide to scale. And it doesn't matter what you decide. What matters is that you're serving the people and you're serving them well. You're serving them well, and you're not just having a position just to have it. Okay, so final questions you can ask yourself: are you prepared for the responsibility? Are you prepared for you to come home after your 9 to 5 and still have to work? And this time working on the things that you're called to do. I part-time for organization, and often I would come home and do things for my organization. Often I would be tired, but stretch through it. And then other times I would just dismiss it because I would just be so tired. And so I had to create a schedule for myself so that I would be able to do the things that are important to me, despite the income that I needed at that time. And so you have to ask yourself, are you prepared for the responsibility? Are you prepared to invest initially? I was talking about this before, is that your funding may just come from you initially, and then eventually you can have people from your family who are giving, you can have people from your network who are giving, maybe your volunteer has reached out to their network and they're giving, and so it's always something that's building on. You have to be prepared for the different stages. You have to be prepared for what you're going to have to do in the initial stages. You'll have to be prepared for the different challenges that happen. You're going to have to be prepared that some people are not going to support you like they said they would. So I believe this has blessed you, and I think this is going to allow you to and really determine, am I going to start a nonprofit organization? Do I have the time commitment to do? Did I do this? What people are going to be on my team? What is it going to look like when it comes to creating systems? Where am I going to put the funding into? Am I going to create a budget to put aside? So these are the questions that you should be asking yourself. Starting a nonprofit, it is for the people who are willing to serve. So I encourage you to start a nonprofit if you feel that the work you're doing is going to be unique, that it's needed. If you feel that you can join another organization as an alternative, then I encourage you to do that, because yes, there's a lot of responsibility that goes into starting a nonprofit. So if you can join it with another one and then help them in their mission, then you can do that as well. Discourage you from starting a nonprofit. I just wanted to be honest about what I've experienced, what I go through, and what you will go through as a nonprofit. It will be different for everyone, but the responsibility is the same. So thank you for joining the Nonprofit Plug. I'm going to be here every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Pacific time. You can follow me on social media if you type in hashtag the nonprofit Instagram, and we are working on other platforms we're going to be on. So if this has blessed you, informational, if this has been a good amount of information, then I encourage you to follow me on social media. If this is you watching on YouTube, I encourage you to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Let me know what things you want to talk about. I or a list of things I'm going to be talking about in the upcoming weeks, but let me know what you want to talk about, what questions you have. I will do my best to answer it as best as possible. So go ahead and like, subscribe, share. So until next Tuesday, be blessed and take care.